The dark history of Snapchat. I don't know about you guys, but I've had Snapchat since like middle school. Like it was the second social media I really had. I feel like everybody gets Instagram first, and then you get Snapchat, and then you move on to other things, right? I really think Snapchat is going to be like Gen Z's Facebook. Like the newer generation really isn't getting Snapchat anymore. Obviously, I feel like everybody has Instagram and everybody's like acclimated to Instagram. I mean, even fucking boomers have Instagram nowadays. But it's really only Gen Z and a little bit of the Gen Y, the generation before us, or the fuck it is, millennials, that are using Snapchat. It's not really the newer generation. And it's going to phase out. But I have so much hidden stuff in the My Eyes Only section of Snapchat. Bruh, if that ever got leaked, I'd be probably in federal prison right now. I wouldn't be here making this video right now. But let's not waste no more time. Let's get into the video. Lock in.
The FBI now interviewing parents of children who connected with dealers on Snapchat and died after taking pills with a deadly dose of fentanyl.
Saying the 2015 incident wouldn't have happened had it not been for the app's speed filter.
So that means photos.
Can you really blame Snapchat for that though? Like, yeah, Snapchat gave them that feature. I remember, you could track your speed and how fast you were going and things like that in the Snapchat app. But like that, it wasn't telling you to go do it. It wasn't telling you to do, what did it say, fucking 137 miles an hour? Yeah. It's not telling you to go do 137 miles an hour. Nobody said that. Like, can Snapchat really be held liable for that? I don't know, man.
Speed filter.
So that means photos, yes, many of which are reportedly nude, are of minors.
Nah, I'm gonna lie,
Snapchat
bro.
has a dark past. Before we get into that, though, I've been gone for a bit.
I'm sorry.
Long story short, new trauma, old trauma, hospital, new meds that my body doesn't like, hospital, repo came out, hospital. It is slow.
Bro, does she have like every medical condition in the world? Why is she going to the fucking hospital?
Slowly getting better though, and I appreciate all the support and love I've been getting from you guys on Instagram. So thank you, and I'm sorry for those who are just YouTube watchers. I'm doing my best. And lastly, I will be at VidCon this year, which I will talk about closer to the actual event, but I will be there. So
Alright, bro, what are we yapping about? Snapchat or VidCon? Come on. What are we doing here?
if you plan on going, hey, I'll see you there. Okay, now on with the video. Snapchat has always been quite an interesting place. The flirty line for middle school boys back in my day was, you got kicked. Throughout time.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Kik was generational. Kik actually, oh my god, I forgot about Kik. That was generational. Bro, I was risen motherfuckers on Kik. I swear to God, I had a whole roster. I don't even think I had dudes really added. I did have dudes. I had like close dudes, but like, bro, it was like probably like a 10-to-1 ratio on Kik. And those 10, it was just my boys that we were all in a group chat in. Like, I didn't have just guys on Kik. But I remember she said Snapchat was like the flirting, whatever the fuck she said. But I remember you would take a picture, you post it, you'd be like, oh, slide up how I feel about you, or damn, what's the fucking term called? I can't fucking remember it. Oh, like slide up for a rate, like, you know, to be honest, there we go. Like slide up for to be honest, like, and a rate, all that fucking bullshit, and just hoping that the girl you like, your crush, would fucking slide up, and then you just hit the most nonchalant, to be honest, you chill, we should talk more, 8 out of 10, bro. And then she just leaves you in red. Alright, bro, whatever.
That changed and would eventually become, you got Snapchat. The concept was so new and fun. You sent photos to your friends and then poof, they were gone. Never to be seen again. Now
Bro, I had some of the cringiest pictures on Snapchat, dude. Like, I'm thinking back to when I was in like 6th grade, just middle school in general, bro. I was taking some corny ass, cringy pictures.
We have David Dobrik posting 150 Snapchat stories per day, all sponsored by Celsius, exploiting women, which is what he does best. So, a lot's changed. Snapchat launched in 2011, created by Evan Spiegel, Bobby Murphy, and Reggie Brown, though it was originally named Peekaboo, until the creators
Peekaboo. Who the fuck came up with that?
were handed a cease and desist as that name had already been trademarked. Oops. The
That's
idea
crazy.
stemmed from Reggie Brown wishing that there was a way to send photos to girls that would disappear. What kind of photos are you sending
Yeah, no, that's bad. That's a bad look. That is a bad rap. You ain't trying to leave no trace. You ain't trying to leave no trail.
to girls? Reggie? As well as being a way to send unsolicited dick pics. Not saying that's you, Reggie. I hope.
I'm not gonna lie. Never mind. Never mind.
Snapchat was intended to be a way to share photos with your friends without fear of performance. Within its first year, Snapchat was an absolute hit, with 10 million users flocking to download the app, specifically grabbing the attention of teenagers early on, especially since around 2011 was kind of the year we all began collectively deciding Facebook was very lame, and for soccer moms,
that shit was
not much
dead.
has really changed there. Actually. Except now it's AI for soccer moms and where you go to lose all faith in humanity. But hey, at least you can get a Freddy Fazbear lamp for $38. So yeah, by 2012, the year...
Bro, you ever... I was just thinking about it. I just gotta say it, bro. But you ever accidentally send, like, to the wrong person, like, you click on the wrong person, and you send them an eggplant emoji picture, and your fucking heart sinks to the ground. I'm talking, boom, gone. You're over there texting them, like, because at first you couldn't delete the pictures. Like, once you just sent it, you sent it. It's there, and they're gonna see it. You sitting there trying to call them, like, on, I think before you couldn't even, like, call them, like, when Snapchat first came out, there was no call feature or anything like that. It was, like, in the later life of TikTok. Wow. Snapchat. Hey, Gorkor. But you couldn't do anything about it. Like, once it sent, it sent. Like, the most you could do, you probably throw your shit in airplane mode and hope that it doesn't send real quick. But, like, if you had good Wi-Fi, you're cooked. It just instantly went through. You're over there texting them, blowing up the phone to be like, don't open that up, don't open that up, don't open it. But it shows, like, the red first, and then it shows, like, the blue. Like, when they see your name, like, as somebody who texted them on Snapchat, it shows them that you sent a picture first. So they're going to click on that shit. And then it's going to go to the text. And it's already too fucking late. Yeah, you ever did that? I'm not saying I ever did that, but did y'all ever do that?
The year that we were all supposed to die, Snapchat was cooking. 2013 was the year that everything would change. The app was finally available to Androids, stories were introduced, sending videos up to 10 seconds long was introduced, and filters
10
plus
seconds.
editing. But history would be made in 2013. And you know why? 2013 was the groundbreaking year that this purple fuckboy ass filter would be released. It was also a way to add a dramatic black and white twist to your dramatic half-faced selfie captioned, "Worst day ever. Don't message me." But all you
I never
wanted
really
was
used
for everyone to
them,
message you. So with
filters and shit like
2013
that on
being a
here.
very successful year for Snapchat, inevitably, drama. Mark Zuckerberg tried buying Snapchat for $3 billion.
Oh, that's fucking crazy.
Damn. Evan Spiegel told him to go fly a
I wonder if it's still worth that much today.
kite and go smoke his meats because Snapchat was not for sale. Early in Snapchat's years, the only negative publicity they really got was the easy accessibility for bullying to happen. And oh man, do we get into some safety issues as we continue going about Snapchat. And that's why it's quite fitting that video, and let's get back to it. Like this article, for example. Warning to teens over Snapchat app's bullying potential. As the popularity of the controversial website Ask
Nah, you remember when, like, the maps first came out and, like, it would show people's, like, locations, bro? Like, I remember when that first came out and everybody thought it was so cool, but, like, people were getting, like, kidnapped and, like, abducted and stalked and shit like that. And, like, these, like, middle schoolers, I remember, like, a news story of, like, it was some, like, middle school girls at, like, a park or something like that. And, like, this dude was, like, catfishing and acting like he was another high schooler, middle schooler, whatever that they were. He was acting like they were them, and he told them to, like, pull up to a park, and, like, he had their location on there. So he like tried to kidnap them. I think he maybe even did kidnap them. I don't remember, but I remember it was crazy, bro. Like I never left that on. Like that was so weird. Like I don't want people to know where I'm at, like where I lived. You know what I mean? Like it was weird. I always just kept it like in the ghost mode or whatever. But I know people still to this day that have it on.
FM fades. Another site is gaining currency with teenagers, leading to social media experts warning parents to talk to their children about Snapchat. Any social media platform is pretty much automatically a cesspool for bullying. I mean, shit. Did you see my last video about Yik Yak? You should watch that if you haven't, by the way. It's a pretty freaking good video. But yeah, that kind of already wraps up 2013 because again, there just wasn't much negativity around the app at this point. By 2014, 40% of adults in America were on Snapchat and using it frequently. So it went from a very teenager-focused app to something for everybody. I didn't know this, but hey, that's why we make these videos. Snapchat has been faced with data breaches. Like, data breaches.
I remember
One of the
this.
worst ones being in January 2014, when 4.6 million users' usernames, messages, emails, photos, and phone numbers were exposed.
Photos. We're not talking about my eyes only, right?
This breach was carried out through employee misuse of internal tools, and phishing attacks. Not only Snapchat, but any third-party software that was also connecting to Snapchat was hacked into. Snapchat did respond to this by adding more safety features, which is a good thing. Like I said, we're already ahead of many platforms we've talked about in the past. Find Friends was introduced to improve privacy, and two-factor authentication was also added. This could have affected me, and I'd have no idea.
Yeah,
I was like
how would you really know that? It's not like Snapchat is gonna come out and like tell you. You know what I mean? They're not gonna like put out a list. I think they have to go out and like say that it happened, but I don't think they have to like indirectly tell you. Like, how would you ever know? That's a good point.
13. I was worried about my fan fiction on Wattpad being updated before I go to school. I don't know what was going on with my Snapchat data. On October 10th, 2014, a 4chan user a 4chan user leaked tens of thousands of private photos people saved to a third-party app called SnapSave, an app used to automatically save Snapchats that you sent as well as Snapchats that...
Corey, you scared the hell out of me. You just boot me with your damn nose. You done scared the hell out of me, Corey.
...that you received. Oof. I hope your Snapchat friends know you have that. Fuck. Obviously, that's bad. To make a bad situation worse, a lot of things that were released were explicit, and not only explicit, but from my...
Bro, like, Snapchat was the place that, like, you got internet down and dirty on. You know what I mean? Chats didn't save, pictures didn't save. You ain't had to worry about it once it was done. That was the place you got down and dirty at.
This third-party data breach started sparking lots of conversation as people knew the possibilities of children participating in Snapchat explicit activities, but this breach showed it was actively happening and had been happening. In 2014, a high schooler was arrested when using a female student's explicit photo to get more photos in which he would upload to a Dropbox folder for him and other students of the school to participate, adding to, and looking at. This was all done through Snapchat. Unfortunately, extortion is a very common and serious crime. 73% of people who have sent explicit photos found out that they were leaked or shared without their permission. That is terrifying. That is a very high fucking number. From the beginning of Snapchat's time, people were discussing how this was finally a safe way to... It disappears, and then when screenshotted, it exposes them. Boom. Well, one of those we already debunked because third-party platforms exist. Apps that are created to save snaps without the other person knowing. But on top of that, there were constantly, and probably are still constantly, tutorials being put out there of how to still sneakily screenshot without the person knowing.
I remember, like, going around And there was just like tutorials everywhere on like YouTube, Instagram, like in Snapchat on how to like save Snapchats without getting caught. Like if you just Googled it, this shit would pop up.
Will never ever be a fully safe activity. And unfortunately, people who used Snapchat thought that it absolutely was. So like I said, that data breach sparked a lot of conversations about protecting minors on Snapchat. We're gonna come back to this when I talk about a lawsuit related to this situation, but for now, since that's in another year, we're gonna keep going with 2014. 2015 was quite an interesting turning point. Filters quite literally reinvented the entire platform and was a huge part of its growth. When I say that the Rainbow Unicorn filter had a chokehold on 95% of users, I mean it. I made up that statistic. That's not true. Probably. But yeah, filters absolutely changed the game. It just made the app
I feel like that statistic is probably pretty true. I feel like everybody who has used Snapchat at some point, like, used the fucking filters in the app. It's pretty fucking true. It'd be a good guess.
Much more fun to be a part of until one specific filter caused problems. The timestamp is right here, but I want to give a trigger warning for car crashes and specifically fatal car crashes. One of these filters, which many of us probably remember, led to a lawsuit as it was able to detect speed. The driver wanted to reach 100 miles per hour to post
so
to their
we went 37 over that bitch. Crash.
This accident was not fatal, but resulted in brain damage.
Wait, hold on. Is she talking about the crash at 137 or 100? Because 100 is more believable, but why the fuck are we showing a picture of 137? If you crash at 137 miles an hour, bro, even hitting the back of another car at 137 miles an hour, what are the chances that you're living? Probably very fucking low. It's not even showing me anything for 137 miles an hour because it's saying right here anything above 6 miles per hour can be more than 50% fatal. Bro, you're not surviving 137 mile, 65 to 75.
To another driver who was hit by the reckless Snapchat user. Wentworth Menard filed for a lawsuit against Snapchat for the filter that was negligently designed. This lawsuit is still being...
You can't blame Snapchat for that, though. They didn't make you go and do it.
Talked about in 2025, 10 years after the accident. Again, in 2015, this filter allegedly led to the death of 3 girls in Philadelphia who were trying to document their speed as well. Surveillance footage shows them flying down roads. The footage that we know of has never been found. Families had plans to get it from Snapchat, but I assume they were never able to. Hence why for this one, I say allegedly. Then in Florida in 2016, a couple was using the filter which caused another fatal accident where 5 people died. A couple fell
5 people is
3
crazy.
people in a van that they crashed into. Then in 2020,
and that's the thing too, though. It's like, yeah, okay, 137 miles an hour, you go that. I get that it's like an adrenaline rush, and you're doing it for fun, and like, in the moment, you're not really thinking about crashing. Like, I've done stupid things driving. Like, I've cut up, I've swam, I've gone over 100 miles an hour in a car. The only time I've gone over 100 miles an hour is when the roads were clear. There was, like, nobody else. It was late at night. Nobody else was on the road. I was in the car by myself. The only person who would have died from my stupidity, was me. And that was it. Doing this shit and, like, putting other people's lives in danger is fucking stupid. Like, the people online who swim and they cut up, like, crazy. Like, okay, it's cool to watch. It's cool. It's not even cool to do it, bro. It's, like, if you could, bro, go play No Hesi. Go play a Corsa, whatever the fuck it's called. Go play that shit, bro. Like, you're genuinely putting people's life in danger. You hit somebody going that fast, they're not living either. It's honestly fucking crazy.
22 teenage boys and one 21-year-old were also using this filter that resulted in their deaths after losing control at 123 miles per hour and hitting a tree. It was not until 2021 that this filter was taken off of Snapchat. That is like, I'm angry. When you consider how many deaths came from this filter and it took you that many years to take it off.
That is crazy. A lot of people did die, and I feel like it's not their fault. Like I've been saying, they're not making these kids drive that fast, but it is promoting it. And it isn't not like encouraging them, but if it wasn't there, they wouldn't do it. So in a way that I can't fucking explain or portray, they are enticing it, you could say. They're not, but they are. And the best thing for everybody, people aren't gonna remove the app just because you took this out. You know what I mean? But people are gonna stop dying because you did. It's not hurting nobody, you taking it out. You know what I mean?
This filter should have been taken off with the first accident that happened in 2015, or the second accident that happened in 2015, which did lead to death. Do I think Snapchat is to be fully blamed? No, but there's a responsibility that platforms have. And a very valid argument is that the misuse of that filter was very foreseeable. Snapchat was again sued in 2016, but for something else. 2016 was the launch year of the Snapchat Discover page. This lawsuit was accusing Snapchat of a pattern and practice of intentionally exposing minors to harmful, offensive, and sexual content, pointing out that their terms of service, which is primarily...
Now, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you go on Snapchat, Spotlight, Discover, whatever the fuck it is, bro, it is nothing but thirst traps. I swear to you. I swear. If you go to it, I'm thinking like... I don't remember their fucking name, but you would just see it. But like, I don't really go on Snapchat anymore, but every once in a while I do, because I have a lot of my high school friends in there that I don't even live in that state anymore, so I just see what they're doing on Snapchat, and I'll scroll over and look at it. But there'll be the Spotlight, and the first person there is fucking Sophie Rain, dude. Like, and it's pushing this out. You know what I mean?
Aimed at minors, as it states kids above the age of 13 can use the app, includes no warning about said offensive content on their Discover page. Noah Edwardson, a Snapchat spokesperson, stated that their Discover partners have editorial independence and they support that. But I can't help but feel that he's missing the point. It's good to give your partners creative freedom. Yeah, it's the app.
Oh, I don't know how long this has been able to happen, but I know that people can now like make money off of the Spotlight from like views and things like that.
Responsibility to choose an appropriate age group to use their platform, especially if the app wants to promote freedom to their partners and their partners are posting very sexually explicit concept articles. I'm about to show articles that were showing up on a 13-year-old Snapchat Discover feed, as stated in the Snapchat Indecency Lawsuit PDF. Get ready for heavy censorship so that I can get sponsored. 10 things he thinks of when he can't make you order them. I got hot.
That's fucking crazy.
When I was a pizza guy.
Nah,
how they
bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. If sometime in the future, and I don't know, another social media app comes out that's like generations, like our kids' generation, Snapchat, and I see some shit like that, bro, I'm tweaking.
Casual. People share their secret rules for sex. I'm not saying that there's anything exactly wrong with these articles. They're witty, they're funny, and they're for adults. The issue is that these should not be shown to a 13-year-old. There's a difference between that and sexual education, which I do support. A minor doesn't need to be learning 12...
But a social media app doesn't need to be giving sexual education.
Tips to better your friends with benefits relationship. While this lawsuit was big headlines in 2016, I can't find anything else about it. I'm not sure if the lawsuit was closed, if it is still ongoing. So at this point, Snapchat, pretty damn unstoppable. Even these extremely serious lawsuits didn't matter. Also in 2016, Snapchat made the ultimate business decision.
I'm not gonna say that these lawsuits didn't matter. And I guess it's not like the grand scheme. Like, yeah, nothing happened of these lawsuits, but it still opens people's eyes up to like things that go on. You know, like some kid in like middle school could have downloaded Snapchat, and there are people on there, like predators, adding little kids on Snapchat, and like a parent could have seen this and not let them download it. So I think it did help, but yeah, the app obviously didn't just like go away.
One that would change history forever, really. Snapchat, what the fuck? Not only ugly, but apparently it barely worked. Bluetooth rarely worked, and transferring videos was quite the hassle. 2018 was a deeply controversial year, which led Snapchat to lose $1.3 billion and led to an 83% negative review rate.
Damn.
What led to that, you might be asking? An update. Snapchat changed where you viewed stories and combined private chats. So instead of going to the Discover page where in the previous update you could see everyone's stories in a line, you now had to go to your chats and find whose story you wanted to see.
Yeah, that is dumb as hell.
This was bound to fail because, yeah, occasionally people look at the articles, but the entirety of Snapchat is built upon community and communication and viewing the personal side of other people's lives. What's kind of insane is that it's a general consensus that people didn't like this update, but it wasn't until one celebrity decided to share their opinion where everything came crashing down. Kylie Jenner. Remember when I said Snapchat lost $1.3 billion? Yeah, that happened right after Kylie went to Twitter and said that she was no longer going to be using Snapchat.
Imagine actually like getting your shit fucking aired out by Kylie Jenner.
This followed with a petition on change.org, which got 1.2 million signatures.
From
Snapchat
what?
started seeing the gates of hell in the distance, so they
What are they
decided
trying
to
to
change it
change?
for what people want.
Oh, the story shit.
Was what it was. When company learns people don't only use app to be advertised, Cosmopolitan's top 10 fruits to shove up your ass. I'm skipping 2019 because honestly, the entire year they were just trying to recover from the huge financial loss of their last update. So I'm skipping to 2021. Here's the timestamps, but I want to give a huge disclaimer and trigger warning for overuse and fatal drug use for this next section. 2021 was a year.
I feel like if she could have it in her video, I could probably have it in my video. I hope.
That Snapchat realized they had a problem. Snapchat would finally start cracking down.
I'm not gonna lie, drug use was definitely glorified on Snapchat. Like, more than it is on any other app. And I feel like it's because it is monitored on other apps. I feel like Snapchat has always gotten away with being less monitored and people just doing more what they want because it goes away, you know? And I feel like a lot of people want to avoid the whole screenshot and letting people know that you screenshot, because then, like, if they get snitched on, you're the snitch. Like, you screenshotted it. They know that. You can't say anything. They know that you snitched. So Snapchat has always just been able to get away with more stuff than this. And I can definitely see a lot of more kids getting exposed and doing drugs because of Snapchat.
On deals that were commonly happening on the platform since chatting had been introduced. This was extremely relevant as there had been too many to-count ODs from drugs sold on Snapchat, mainly due to being laced. I'm gonna have a moment of silence.
But there was like so many plugs on Snapchat too. Like, I had people added just because like I knew them from school, and they just so happened to like brand their sales on Snapchat, and I had them on there. But there was so many people just posting it, bags of everything and anything. Ain't nothing ever happened, bro. They're not getting banned.
In this video where I state names, ages, and year of death, because I just really want these people to live on because their lives were cut too short.
That's sad. I mean, there's like so many more than in this right here that people probably don't even like know about, or
in April of 2023, different year, but extremely relevant. 65 families who were victim to their children passing due to drugs sold on Snapchat came together to file a lawsuit towards Snapchat for not doing enough about the rising issue. The suit claims Snapchat's features felicitate...
I feel like with the new development of AI and how AI is changing things, just like in Xbox and PlayStation and even TikTok, they have AI that like detects things. And at first it got to like text. AI would detect the text and anything that would pop up. It would like let the people know if it was harmful. It would let them like say, hey, this is harmful. Do you want to view it? And then it got to like PlayStation and Xbox, and now it can hear voice, and certain words, no matter who says it, can get you banned. You know? Now with like images on like TikTok, like things get sensitive warning, like AI can detect these images now. And if Snapchat implemented that into their app, and they already have AI implemented into their app, the little My AI pal on Snapchat that you can talk to, bro, use that to moderate your app. Like, let it detect pictures and things like that. You know what I mean? It would actually solve a whole lot.
Practices like drug sales by connecting dealers to young customers while promising safety from legal repercussions through anonymity. Snapchat, of course, filed to be dismissed in this case, using Citation 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which is meant to protect platforms from anything illegal happening on their service. Section 230 serves as protection when a company has discussed responsibility and has taken a step towards these illegal activities, so less are happening or not happening at all. And this was something that was quite a discussion on whether Snapchat had done or not. Perla Mendoza, mother of Daniel Figueroa, who was sold fentanyl-laced pills on Snapchat that led to his death, has a strong stand on not seeing Snapchat's growth. She created an account to find her son's dealer, who was still selling. Perla reported him countless times, in which Snapchat took 8 months to finally get his account flagged. There is no mental capacity for me to understand the anger and frustration that she must have felt. Before I keep talking about the lawsuit, I want to and need to talk about what Snapchat has done and publicly said about what they are doing to stop drug sales on their platform. After a public safety alert was sent out by the DEA, Drug Enforcement Administration, about rising counterfeit drugs on social media platforms, emphasizing one pill can kill, Snapchat began to take some actions. These
I remember
actions
seeing
were improving automated
motherfucker. Didn't want to pause. I remember seeing a statistic. That's what it was. Okay, so these pills that got taken off the street, 100,000 of them, right? More than 50%, so more than 50 tested positive for having fentanyl. And of that 50%, 70% got tested positive for having an overdose level of fentanyl.
Detection systems, hiring more staff to communicate with law enforcement, and adding an in-app informational page called Heads Up. Heads Up was an educational support towards the dangers of drugs, including the horrors of the rise in counterfeit pills, with resources for substance abuse and mental health. The fact that they have a post on how to use Narcan, that's amazing. How to know when an overdose is happening, understanding the risks of mixing drugs, that information is so valuable, and I think that it could be something extremely accessible for young people to see if it's promoted enough. Instead, on my Snapchat page, I'm getting this random guy looking at me like I'm the Wingstop ad right next to him. I have a few friends that are avid Snapchat users. Every single day have streaks to the thousands. And
I totally forgot about streaks, dude. Streaks was crazy. I remember, bro, like, you had like a streak that was up there. I remember people would be so dramatic about it. Like, it would like end friendships if you lost a streak that was like 500 and above. And then I remember they got this whole like restore, like you could pay like $1 to like restore your streak. But there was some like fix around it, being like you would go to the settings, like restore streak, and being like, I sent one. And I think it let you do it a certain amount of times. I think it was just like whenever at first, and people started abusing it, so it became like 2 or 3 times, something like that. I don't remember, but bro, streaks were like not to be fucking played with. Bro. People were serious about their fucking streaks.
them. Have you guys ever heard of Heads Up? But they also claim that in 2023, they had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on removing 2.2 million drug-related content and removed over 700,000 dealers' accounts. So Snapchat is putting in an effort, which is more than a lot of platforms have done. But it still calls for a huge discussion. How much of this is Snapchat liable? I mentioned a lawsuit including about 65 families, and this lawsuit is still going on, the biggest update being in December of 2024, when Snapchat requested to close the case and it was actually denied. There is still a case, even with Section 230. Snapchat's design encourages dealers to promote the sale of deadly drugs on a massive scale with little scrutiny from law enforcement, and affirmatively connects predatory drug dealers with vulnerable teenagers who are not even seeking to purchase drugs, meaning that they're able to sue Snapchat for its dangerous design, while still being able to get at them for lack of effort in previous years. Section 230 can still protect Snapchat, but it does not serve as enough protection to allow them to close the case. It means the plaintiff families can now...
It's one of those things that are not even like situational, but like it goes both ways. It could be Snapchat's fault, you know, because like anybody can add anybody. And I don't think there's any like parental controls that can mitigate like a drug dealer adding like somebody in middle school. Like if they just happen to like know your username, have you in like their contact suggestions or anything, like any way that they can add you, like they can just add you. And it does go down to the fact that, like, let's say, like, a drug dealer does add a middle schooler, right? Like, the middle schooler, they're going to see it, and if they've grown up around it, or if they're exposed to it, even if they're not exposed to it, they can still think that, like, it's cool, like, other kids doing it, things like this. And it really just does affect them, right? But then at the same time, it's that person's choice. You know, it is Snapchat's fault for putting them two together. There wasn't really anything to do to mitigate that. But Snapchat isn't making them buy the drugs, message them, get peer pressured by them. It's not making them do anything like that. So it's one of those like weird situations that could go either which way.
Move forward with getting internal company documents that tell them if Snap knew about the contaminated drugs being sold on Snapchat. If it comes out that there are company documents from years and years back bringing up knowledge of all of these deaths and common drug deals while doing little about it, that will be huge for this case and damn bad for Snapchat. The Federal Bureau of Investigations is currently examining Snapchat's role in the fentanyl death crisis, and if it was a massive part. I'm going to move on with the rest of the years of Snapchat's history, but I am going to leave this case in the description below in case you want to also stay up to date with it. On to another lawsuit. In 2024, a lawsuit against Snapchat was settled for $15 million as women workers at Snapchat were allegedly being harassed, discriminated, and retaliated against, including specific actions such as equal pay violations and SA. Snap fostered a culture in which women workers were paid less and provided less promotional opportunities than their male counterparts. Women were told, both implicitly and explicitly, that they were second-class citizens at Snap. Snapchat denied these accusations, but a lawsuit was still settled, and women that worked at Snapchat from 2014 to 2024 were compensated. We're on to the last section. This article is about a reporter named Lena who created a Snapchat with the age being 14, and these were the most tame posts that she saw within the first 5 minutes of exploring the spotlight.
Bro, she's on that step, bro. I'm stuck in the dryer spotlight, bro. That's fucking crazy.
And keep the lawsuits coming, because April 22nd, recently, a new lawsuit was recently filed by Attorney General James claiming Snapchat is knowingly and willingly breaking Florida statute by, quote, deceiving Florida parents about the dangers children face on the app, from behavioral addictive features to allowing sexual predators and drug dealers access. And we cannot allow this deception to continue. And when you think about everything we've talked about in this entire video, you have to admit it's insane that they've gotten away with so much. We went to some really dark places, and I wouldn't be surprised if 90% of people who watched this video were like me and didn't know a damn thing about any of it. And again, I want to send so much love and support to the family and friends of loved ones who have passed due to any overdose or, any counterfeit, whether it was sold on Snapchat or not. My heart is with you, and I'm so sorry. I appreciate you guys, and again, I'm so thankful for everyone who...
All right, W video. Yeah, honestly, that was a good video. I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't know any of this was going. I didn't know there was no lawsuits, right? But I don't think we can be ignorant to the fact. If you just look, like, yeah, Spotlight does promote like very thirst trap-esque things on their Spotlight. They do that, right? There are a fuck ton of drug dealers on Snapchat. There are. People buy drugs, people fucking buy guns on Snapchat, right? And yes, middle schoolers, high schoolers can get into that realm of Snapchat and get influenced and things like this. The fucking pictures getting leaked, that's fucking crazy. Like, I was joking around earlier, and oh, my eyes only, but like, it's actually sick. There are PDF files. They've gone on these websites that she listed in the video and have gotten these pictures that have gotten leaked of minors, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and fucking, it's crazy. You know what I mean? I feel like that right there should have been the downfall of Snapchat. 17 and below people, their explicit, sensitive content leaked, and it's just all over the internet. That's actually crazy, man.